Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for SWCODA's online marketing series. My name is Hannah Birdsong, and I am one of the members of the La Plata County Task Force. And we've been working on bringing this video series to you guys to give you some daily marketing tasks that you can work on at home during the COVID stay-at-home order. So thank you guys for joining in. This is our second to last episode that we're hosting. And we're so glad that we have Sean back on here to teach you guys about some social media analytics. So I will go ahead and pass it over to Sean. Well, I'll say first, we've worked with Sean with the SBDC several times before, and he is a wonderful instructor, and we are very, very lucky to have him back here today. And I will pass it along to you.
Thank you so much, Hannah. I appreciate it. So what we're going to be talking about today is an introduction to Facebook and Instagram insights. Just a little snapshot here of some of the clients that we work with. A lot of these are social media clients, except for Durango Magazine and Southwest Health System. Durango Magazine, we run their website. Southwest Health System, we do a lot of graphic design and stuff for them. So we do make them social media graphics, but we don't run their social media and don't see their analytics. What we're going to be covering today is getting started with Facebook Insights, and then the second section will be getting started with Instagram Insights. So the first thing I wanted to say here in the first part with Facebook Insights is kind of for anybody who's not familiar with them whatsoever. What are Facebook Insights and why are they so valuable? I have a quote here from Neil Patel. Neil Patel is a digital marketing entrepreneur, and he was the founder of Crazy Egg, which is an online app that uses eye tracking tools that help you understand customer interests and activity on your website. It's super cool, but he made himself a millionaire, and he is one of the leading experts in all digital marketing, especially social media. And his quote here says, Facebook Insights is a pretty powerful tool for those wanting to track user interaction on their Facebook page. Facebook Insights can be seen by all the admins of your page, and it can help you track the number of active users to better understand page performance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just go right into our Animus Marketing Insights. So in order to get to your insights on Facebook, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to your Facebook page. Now, here's what it would look like when you're at your Facebook page. Now, I know Facebook can be one of those time sucks that sincerely can waste a bunch of time during the day, especially when you're seeing your private activity from if you see up here in the notifications, you'll see notifications for your regular profile, other friends activity. So a lot of people don't know that there's actually a business portal to Facebook. And so that's what I want you guys to go to when you look at this. You can see your insights and you can see your page from here. But if you go to business.facebook.com/whatever your page's @handle is, this is where you'll be able to see your business activity, and you won't be bothered by seeing all of your personal activity and other stuff on Facebook. This is a great way to avoid the time suck that Facebook can be by just going into the business portal. So remember that, business.facebook.com/whatever your @handle is, and bookmark that so that you can get straight to here when you're doing business. That way you're not distracted. To get to Insights, you'll see a little tab up here that says Insights. Sometimes it's hidden depending on your different pages. There's different layouts. So you might have to go into the More button here if you can't see your Insights. Click on your Insights. And the first thing that it opens up for you is your overview. So you can choose up here, what period of time would you like to see the data for? I've chosen the last 7 days, but you can do the last 7 days. You can do just yesterday, today, or the last 28 days. A more advanced feature, once you start getting into this and you really are deep diving on analytics and you want to be able to share them with others, there is a way to export that data here, and you can choose different date ranges. But for now, since we're just doing an introduction, let's just stay with the last 7 days. You can see here, these are the little tiles that show you some of the valuable metrics. Actions on page, that would be, clicking through to different elements of your page, or clicking on your website link, clicking on your Call Now button if you have a button on there. Page views is fairly self-explanatory. That's how many times your page has been viewed by users. Page previews is how many times that your page has showed up in results, whether it's search results, whether it's showed up when someone was searching for something related to, like for ours, it would be if someone was looking up marketing stuff, Marketing Durango, and then we appeared in those search results, or if they started following us, or they started following content like ours, and they were suggested our page. That was what a page preview is. Page likes, it shows you right here how many page likes that you've gotten in the last 7 days. So we've had 2 new page likes for the Animus Marketing account on Facebook from April 30th to May 6th. Post reach, if anybody's unfamiliar with reach, reach is how many people that posts that people, how many people have seen posts, not necessarily how many times it was seen. Reach, it depends on the different platforms, but reach is how many times it was seen. So 1,312 people, which is a 3,264% rise over the week before, because the week before we didn't post any content because we were busy just busting our butts for getting the content out for our clients. Story reach, this is where you'll be able to see story insights. If you're sharing stories or sharing stories from your Instagram to your Facebook page, you'll see them there. Post engagement, that's how many people have actually clicked on, whether they've clicked on a picture to enlarge it, whether they've clicked like or love, or they've made a comment. This is the engagement on the posts. Responsiveness, over here on the right. On the left bottom here, we have videos. This is really great, especially if you're doing a lot of video content. If you're not doing video content, a little piece of advice right here, video content gets more eyes on it and gets more engagement than any other kind of content on the web. Use it as much as you can. I know that it can be kind of frustrating, and you can get kind of a deer in headlights if you're not the type of person that it can speak to people easily. I've seen a lot of people freeze up. So use video as much as you can, talk to your audience as much as you can. And if you're uncomfortable with that, it's important to identify somebody on your team that is comfortable in front of a camera and is really good with talking to people. So as we get to the bottom here of our overview, this is where you'll be able to see some metrics on your most recent posts. You can click see all posts to see all of them and compare the reach and engagement and the type of targeting, the type of post that it is. You see here, this one was a photo with a little snippet from our blog, and then we had a link to go read more at our blog. That reached 40 people. Targeting wise, we targeted it was a fully public post. We didn't hyper target it to a smaller group or anything like that. Type right here, you can see it was a photo. Earlier in the week, we had a video here. So these little icons kind of help you scan through to find the types of content that you have. And if you see that video right there, you can see 6 post clicks, 1 reaction. That's higher than anything else here because we shared a video rather than just a photo or a link. Another really valuable thing here at the bottom of your overview is pages to watch. What we've done here is we've essentially identified what our main competitors here are in town. You've got Mountain Motion Media, BCI Media Services, Marketing Concepts Squared, the marketing department, and Chimera Communications. This really helps you kind of see how well you're doing and track some minor activity on your competitors so that you can see how you measure up. This is what I like to call a really good carrot dangling on the end of the string. It really motivates you to keep adjusting, keep moving forward, keep elevating your content so that you can rise above and or get to the level of your biggest competitors. You don't always have to choose competitors. You can have this be a healthy mix of competitors and also other people in your industry that do really, really well, have a really solid marketing mix. And you can use this to kind of see how well you're doing compared to them. So say that you're El Moro Spirits and Tavern, you're one of the best cocktail bars in the region. You could be also following the top cocktail bar in Brooklyn and one in Denver just to see how you're measuring up to larger market businesses. But a lot of people just generally use this to watch their competitors and see how they're measuring up. Over here in the left column, there's a lot of other things to go over. We're not going to go over all of these things. We're going to go over the main things because this is just an introduction. Ads we're not going to go over because advertising on Facebook, creating the ads, measuring them, how to do A/B testing, that's an advanced thing. Most of my clients actually don't ever deal with this. They just have us do it for them. But maybe later on, when this is all over, or if they continue doing any more webinars, we could do a deep dive onto ads. The next button we're going to click here on the left column is followers. Apologies for it loading just a little bit slow. Loading data, loading data. All right, so this will show you right here where you're getting new followers. You can choose a week, a month, or your quarter. You can choose what start and end time you want to look at. And all these little spikes here are when you're getting more followers. Your total page followers of ours right here are, as of today, are 412. You see this chart here, you can go day by day and kind of see how it's going up. Oh, it looks like we got a little spike between the 6th and today, which is awesome. This is a really good thing to look at to see if you, as long as if you're having these huge spikes in followers, that can be cool. But generally, if you have a huge spike in followers because you're running a contest of some kind where you're like, hey, like our page, post a comment on our most recent content. I'm sure you see those all the time. When you get those big spikes in followers, a lot of those followers are not going to come back. So those big spikes can be good for some quick growth or for some quick short-term goals. But what you're really looking for here is that your follower count is slowly ticking up. That's slow growth, but steady growth is what you're going to see value in. You're going to see these people stick around, and you're going to see them engage with your page way more than the people that are just doing it to try to win something, and then generally they unfollow you or just kind of hit. They can either unlike your page or they can click unfollow, which means they don't see any of your content anymore. That's one of the most annoying things to me, is they're still a liker on the page, but they'll never see anything. So it looks like I've got this person, but who knows? Under here is the net followers. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's showing you this. If this had an unfollow somewhere on it, it would have a little dip under here that would be red. And then it kind of shows you an average of, for the week, how many people unfollowed you, how many people followed you. Up here, you'll see there's organic followers and paid followers. Paid followers, right here, you'll see that these are paid followers because we were running an ad recently in town. Just for, hey, call us up and we'd love to get you a quote, and you know, one of those basic ads for our services. So all of these followers, you can see because of that color, they started following us and liked our page from that ad, not just from finding us organically. So if they were organic followers, they had just found us in search results or were recommended to us by another user, that would be this color. Where your page follows have happened. I don't use this too much, but it can be super valuable, especially if you have, I don't use this too much for our account. I use it a lot for bigger accounts. You know, the Steamworks Brewing Facebook page that we run has over 14,000 users. I'm not sure if any of you saw that Cajun Boil post that we did yesterday, but it went, or 2 days ago, it went crazy viral. And so seeing where these people were following us from, it kind of helps us inform how do we get more followers in the future. So uncategorized desktop is exactly what it sounds like. It was off of a desktop or laptop computer, but they cannot categorize and tell us exactly where those people came from. You see this spike right here from April 16th, that was one like that came from a post. So someone saw our post, they were not a follower of ours, and they clicked like. That's good to know. That means that whatever we did on April 16th, we did get a new follower from that post. So I would take a little note onto what I think, you know, what worked with that post, the kind of verbiage that I used, whether I used emojis in the copy, what was it a photo of, or was it a video? Taking notes of those things so that can help you develop your content later on and go, I know this works. And also paying attention to the time of day that I posted that. I would want to look at that time of day and mirror that time of day going forward as well. One of my favorite things down here, I'm going to go down to posts on the left side. This is what I use every single day for all of my social media clients. Right here at the very top, it shows you when your fans are online. This is super valuable information. If you see here, it'll show you by day on the left here. So there's 350 people on that are on Facebook on Sundays that are followers of ours. And as you see these go up, there's not a huge change, honestly, between the days. If you're a giant national company, like let's say McDonald's or something, you're going to have a much different and a much more diverse grouping here. But since most of our followers, almost all of our followers, besides some of our family members and friends that are outside of Durango, are right here in the Four Corners area. And generally in geographic regions, I've seen a lot here in Durango, the online activity is fairly similar for when people are on. So you can look on the days to see if you have drastic differences here in the days, how many people are on per day. Choose the days that have the most people to do your social media posts. After that, you want to choose the times. So you can see here today is Thursday. 366 of our fans are going to be online today. And down here, you can see the times of day. So you wouldn't want to post it here 2, 3, 4 in the morning, depending on the type of content you are. Let's say if you're somebody who is appealing to the late night bar crowd, you might want to post something at 2 because somebody could be trying to pass out in bed, flicking through their Facebook, just looking at stuff, and might land on you. And they could be a very valuable customer of yours. But honestly, the best thing to do is to try to post right around in here, right before, like an hour or a half hour before you're starting to see the big rise in your content. Or if you look at this on Thursday, the highest point we have is right here at 6 o'clock. But you see that there's that little dip between 5 and 6. Maybe posting at 5 to 10 minutes after 5 will be right as that last big push comes up. And that'll be a great way to reach people later on in the day. Locally, I found that it really depends on the type of business that you are. Some people, depending on your audience may respond to content better in the mornings, or they might respond to content better around lunchtime, or they might respond to content better later in the evenings between 5:30 and 6:30. Those are the golden times for me. Try those out and see if they work for you. But this is a great tool to figure out, when are people on, when is the highest traffic time. That'll help you develop the proper scheduling for your posts. Down here, you can see all of your posts, see all of the engagement, post clicks, similar to the view we were looking at earlier, except this one shows tons of them. This also gets to, you can easily boost a post. There is 2 different ways to do ads. And like I said, we could talk about ads later, but one way is just boosting a piece of content that you've already posted. But when you do that, there's a smaller amount of the different things that you can do with that post. You cannot, sometimes you can't create A/B testing where you have different combinations of copy and photo or video to see what works best. Boosting posts is great for brand awareness. So if you had a post, let's use the Steamworks Cajun Boil post that I did 2 days ago as an example. That got seen by so many people, there was no reason to boost it. But if I had something like that also had a link in it to our online ordering portal, and it didn't get a lot of eyes on it, but the people that did see it engaged very well. So let's say it had low reach, but very high engagement. I might want to boost that post, throw $20 at it. For $20 to $50, you can do a lot with the amount of people we have in this area. And then you can just boost that post, pick a clear, audience and geographic region, and get that out there. It's great for brand awareness, but it's not always great depending on the type of business. I would strongly suggest consulting a professional like myself or somebody else in my field about the best way to go about that before you just start throwing money at Facebook. They make it really easy for you to boost stuff for a reason. Tons of people do it. They make millions of dollars. But it's good to consult and to be very conservative with how much you're spending on that before you know exactly what works. Down here, you can see events. I'm not sure if any of you have made an event post for Facebook before. They're very valuable because sometimes people use Facebook just to look at what community events are going on around them. And you can get a lot more eyes on your event post than if you just did a normal photo post with the information about your event. We didn't have any events here. We don't have any events. We haven't had one that we had posted on here since it looks like September 20th, 2018, which was one of the webinar. It wasn't a webinar, sorry. It was a talk that we did. You can see all of the data here from events, upcoming events. There's not a lot to show here, but it is valuable that you can see stuff for events, especially if you're an event-based. Say if you were the ACT Theater and you were posting and boosting events a lot, it's good to see all of that content and all of the metrics for it in one place rather than trying to go up here and go through your notifications and go through a million notifications to find things about the events specifically. The next thing I'll go down to here is videos. Facebook has sincerely upgraded their video platform, how you can share videos, how you can do live videos. There's a lot of great things that you can do with them. You can see that we can't get in-stream ads access at this time because we have to have a certain amount of followers. But you can go down here to see video metrics. You can see the total minutes viewed. You can see how many 3-second views you had. That's one of the benchmarks that they use for if someone sits there for a full 3 seconds and starts watching it, that they count that message was at least absorbed enough that it counts. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's what they use for their metrics. You can go back in there later on and see a lot more details. If you go into publishing tools and you go into the video portal, that's another advanced thing. You can see, similar to live videos, you can see where you had the most people watching. You can also see when you had the most people dropping out. So let's say if you did a 10-minute video and you noticed everybody dropped out after about 3 minutes, which is pretty common, then you know the next time you're gonna do a video, you know what? Let's do this for 3 minutes rather than 10 minutes. And then let's have a button or a link for people to go to where they could read more if they want to learn more. People that want to learn more will go to that page and read. The people that, and then you're not worried about losing a bunch of people and having them check out on you, essentially. This down here shows you the top videos, which ones have performed best over the past however long that you wish to tell it. And so this is your introduction to Facebook Insights. I hope this is really beneficial for you. There's a lot more that we could go into here. Messages is great. You want to see Messenger Insights. If you use Facebook, as Facebook is a great tool for customer feedback or for ways for your customers or your clients to reach you. If you do a lot of messaging with people, or especially if you're posting jobs on Facebook, this is a great place to see your Messenger Insights and kind of gauge how well you're doing, how engaged your audience is with you, and how many people are actually reaching out to you the way that you want them to. Excuse me, sorry. Next part is we're going to get into Facebook or Instagram Insights. This is the one that's a little more elusive for people. Facebook or Instagram Insights tend to confuse people. They don't know how to get to them. And the difference between Facebook and Instagram Insights is, as we saw on Facebook, there is a way to export those all that data into CSV files or Excel files so that you can share them with others, or so you can take those files and you could upload them into a different reporting dashboard. Instagram Insights isn't the same way. The full Instagram Insights suite essentially lives in your phone, and you can only see so much at once. There are third-party platforms you can use to get more of your Facebook or your Instagram data. I use Hootsuite. Hootsuite Pro gives a decent amount of insights, but you have to pay for the enterprise level, which is very expensive to get the super deep dive on them. There's other ones that you could use. You could use Google Metrics Dashboard. But honestly, depending on the size of your audience and how big your business is, you can just use your mobile device and look at your insights for the 1 week or 30-day period. And that's gonna honestly really help you, especially if you're starting. And since this is an introduction, I imagine all of you are just starting with this and just learning. It'll be a great way to kind of see what does best and what you should be doing next. What are Instagram Insights and why are they valuable? Instagram Insights is a native analytics tool, native meaning that it lives on Instagram, that provides data on follower demographics and actions as well as your content. This information makes it easy to compare content, measure campaigns, and see how individual posts are performing. And that comes from Social Media Examiner. If any of you want to follow up on some really good content, Social Media Examiner has some really valuable blogs. They also run Social Media World, which is a huge convention that probably won't be happening anytime soon, that they have in San Diego, the same place that they have the San Diego Comic-Con. Social Media Examiner is a great resource. I highly recommend following them and Neil Patel, who we mentioned before, for more deep dives and more great information about how to utilize Facebook and Instagram for your benefit. So we'll get right here, and I've got my phone screen here. So you're gonna want to sign into your business account. We're signed in here on the Instagram for Animus Marketing. You wanna click the home button in the bottom left corner. Oh, sorry, the profile button in the bottom right corner. And you'll see those 3 lines in the top right. That's where you're going to be able to find your insights. So click the top right corner, those 3 lines. And you'll see settings, archive, and then insights right here. So I'm gonna click on insights. So the first screen that it pops up for you is content. The overview right here shows you how many posts and stories that you did this week. So we had 4 posts between April 30th and May 7th. Right there, it shows you how many people it reached. So 171 on the top one, 185, 170 for the video. Stories, if we had posted stories, this is where you'd see some insights on your stories, but we haven't done any story content. Stories is becoming more and more valuable. People are posting to stories more than they are posting to their, I'm sure you've seen it when you look at a story, sometimes people have an annoying amount of chapters. Like, am I really going to have to sit here and watch all 30, 15-second chapters of your day? But a lot of the time it's just 3 or 4. Stories are overtaking the main posts on Instagram with regards to volume. But once again, you know, the story content you've seen, it explodes essentially. It's like Mission Impossible. It explodes after 24 hours. It goes away. You can save that stuff. You can save it as one of your featured stories. But that might be that's what I think is part of the allure of stories, is that it's content you can only see for that day and then it goes away. It's great for specials for restaurants. I found that with El Moro and Steamworks. Sometimes if we post a special to the main feed, people will see that for multiple days. They see it, they want to come in, they want to order it. You can kind of avoid that problem if you're posting things that are short-term deals, short-term offerings, if you use stories. Underneath that, you'll see promotions. Instagram ads are best created in Instagram. You can create them in the business manager where you can create ads specifically for Instagram. But it's sometimes, honestly, for the Instagram audience, it's easier and quicker to just create them here from the app. Once again, please consult a professional. You can call myself or somebody else that you may know, or look it up on Google to see what the best way to go about that is. Next to the content, we have activity. So if you click on activity, it'll show you, so right here, discovery. So discovery is a section that explains, here I'll hit the info button, what is discovery? This set of insights measures how many people see your content and where they find it. Then it goes through a basic definition here of reach, the number of unique accounts that have seen any of your posts. The reach metric is an estimate and may not be exact. And impressions is the total number of times on all your posts have been seen. I apologize if I wasn't clear about that earlier. Impressions is how many times your content has been seen, and reach is how many unique accounts have seen it, which is a big difference. You know, your post could be seen 50. If your posts have been seen 50,000 times by 4 people, those 4 people are probably really annoyed. So you want to have a healthy difference between reach and impressions. So we reached 267 accounts from April 30th to May 6th. We can see the days that we reached those accounts. So right here, I'm already seeing Sunday, 143, Tuesday, 145. On Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday, might have been the times of day we posted. It might have been the content that we posted, but it did not perform as well. It did not get discovered as much as the stuff we did on Sunday and Tuesday. So I'm going to take note of those posts. I'm going to take note of the times that I did those posts, and I'm going to use that to inform the content I'm doing later on. We had 686 total impressions, and 267 unique users saw it. Interactions here are the actions taken on our account. So we've had 11, and it looks like most of those were, a healthy amount of those were split up between Saturday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Sunday not so much. So that's another thing to take a look at. What did I post on Sunday that was discovered more, however, had less actions taken on the account? Maybe it was what was in the copy. Your copy usually should have some sort of call to action. And if your call to action says, click the link in our bio to learn more, or click the link in our bio, and if you go to something like a link tree, which goes to a set of links, you can follow it from there and see where else did they actually land. And 11 profile visits. So profile visits means that they ran into your content on their home feed, they clicked on your name and or logo to go to your profile. That's a really good sign that you're doing something right. If someone saw something, great, they're going to click through and they're going to see, oh, what other content does this have? Maybe I'm going to follow them. Maybe I'm going to go through to their website. So those profile visits is a great metric to look at. And these actions are a great metric to look at to know, okay, we're doing something right. And it's actually driving people to want to learn more. You want people to always leave them wanting more. The next tab that we're going to talk about here is audience. This is similar to when we went to posts in Facebook. This is one of the things I use every single day for my social media clients. You can see your total amount of followers there on the top. You can see that +1 is how many more people have followed you April 30th to May 7th, and that's versus the week before. So we've had 1 more follower than we've had an increase in followers of 1 over the last week. Growth right here, this chart is pretty simple. This chart would look a lot different for a lot more people, especially if you're just starting out, because you'll be growing a lot, especially since you'll be inviting your friends, family members, and coworkers to like your page, or sorry, to like your Facebook or your Instagram profile, sorry. So we've had, you can see an unfollow. We had 1 unfollow and 2 people follow us. So we had net growth of 1 follower. Sorry we lost those 2 people, but honestly, don't get too worried. It's very similar with email. If you're not getting a few unsubscribes, then you're doing something wrong. And you don't want, if you're having people unfollow you, for us, we're a marketing company. Perhaps they don't have a business anymore, or they're not in need of marketing stuff anymore. So they don't follow us anymore. Don't get too worried about it unless you're seeing a drastic dip. You're seeing a lot of people unfollow you, which can happen if you post the same type of post every day, or you're reposting older content and just cycling through it. That's when you can see a really strong dip in follows. Unless you see something really, really, really huge, don't get too worried about missing people, and don't get too worried about overthinking and overanalyzing what post, what did I do to lose these people, unless it's a drastic drop. If you go down here, it shows our top locations, and it goes cities and countries. Countries you don't have to look at too much unless you're a global company, say like Amazon, or you're an airline. That'll give you some valuable information later on for where maybe you should target your advertising geographically. But cities is what most of you are going to be using. And if you see here, like many of our clients, most of our followers are from Durango. We have a handful from Denver, a few from Bayfield, a couple from Fort Collins. And then it goes down into much smaller amounts with all the little cities all over the country that our family members and friends may live in. The age range here is also really important to consider. So right now you can see all people, both men and women, and it shows you the age ranges. And so most of our followers are between the ages of 25 and 34. If we go to men and women, it's about the same, honestly, between the two. So you know, we don't have a huge, if you look down here, you can go to gender and see we have 50% men, 50% women. For some of my clients, for example, El Moro Spirits and Tavern, they have 60% women, 40% men. That's a really big thing to consider when you're figuring out how to write your copy. Different types of people respond to different types of content. So using these age ranges, using the gender, you can kind of figure out the way that you're supposed to be talking to people. If the age, since I see the age ranges here from 25 to 34, we tend to use a lot more emojis. We're a lot more brief with some of our copy. We don't try to write essays all the time, just because we know our audience now. We look at this audience and go, 25 to 34-year-olds are going to respond much better to something that is eye-catching, but it doesn't overwhelm them with a ton to read. This is another super valuable thing that I use every day is the followers down here. You can look at the hours and the days and what times you're, similar to the posts in Facebook, what times and days that your audience is on. So if we look at days, looks like Monday is the day that we have the biggest, the most amount of followers. So definitely Monday. Monday would be the day that every week that we would want to get a post out. And if we look at the hours here, you can cycle through the different days. This is Wednesday. Let's go back to Monday. So on Monday, the biggest spikes that we have are at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Now, these are very general. So it's showing, if you notice here, there's about 3 hours in between all of these. So just getting in that range is really good. So if I was going to post on Monday, I would either post at around 8:55 a.m. or maybe 9:05, somewhere in there, just before or just after that 9 o'clock hour, or at 2:55 or 3:05-ish, maybe 3:15 on Monday. This is really, really, really valuable. Like I said, I use this every day. It's best to try to find what times and what days are best for your content. That's when you'll see the best results. So that is Instagram Insights. I hope you guys all had fun going through that. I hope this isn't too intimidating for any of you. We're going to move on now. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you guys. This is a big note. I'm sorry I didn't say this earlier, but you must have a professional account on Instagram to take advantage of Insights. There are no metrics available for personal accounts. So if you're one of those people that has heard a while ago that keep your Instagram account a personal account, even if it's for your business, because just like Facebook, they hide content from businesses and they make you want to pay for it for your audience to see it. On Instagram, that's not as true as it is on Facebook. Yes, there is a little bit of, as a business, you are not going to get your content out to as many people organically, but honestly, it's very minimal, it's negligible, And the value that you can get from looking at these insights, seeing when your audience is there, seeing what they're responding to, and being able to make your content better and better every week as you look at those insights is far more valuable than that little bit of extra reach you can get by trying to work the system by just having a personal account. The last webinar that I did was about setting up your Facebook and Instagram business accounts, and I did cover how to link your Instagram account to your Facebook account. That can be kind of a headache. So if you go on the SWCODA or the SBDC Facebook pages and you scroll down, they have saved those webinars, and you can go into that webinar and find out how to make your personal Instagram account that you've set up for your business a professional account so that you can get all of those valuable metrics. Now I will open this up for everybody's Q&A here. Hannah, were you going to read the questions, or did you want me to go in there and just read them out and choose the ones I'd like to answer?
I can read them out to you. Well, first off, thank you. That was really cool. I've never seen anyone share their phone on a desktop.
That was a
really
little trick
cool.
I actually learned. If you're a Mac person like me, you can actually just plug your phone into your computer, open QuickTime, go into File, and then click Start New Movie Recording. And then you can choose the camera, you can choose your webcam, or you can choose the connected phone. And it's super easy. Yeah,
That's
it's
so
great,
cool.
especially if you're helping other people walk through stuff. So if anybody out there is like, I need to help my grandma figure out Instagram, you could do this. You could share your screen with her if she could get on a Zoom meeting, which might be another hill that you have to climb.
Man,
but yeah,
cool.
it was fun to learn.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I'll have to learn how to do that after. Walk through that with you. Okay, couple questions. What is the amount of time I should spend looking at my analytics?
Honestly, that kind of depends on the type of business. There's really no catch-all for how long you should be looking at your analytics. I can say from personal experience that there is such a thing as looking at those things for too long and obsessing over them for too long, especially when you're first starting out. I remember when Birds, which is about a year old, had their first year anniversary on May the 4th. When they first opened up, that was one of the first accounts I started from scratch and didn't take over and was obsessing over, like, oh, we lost somebody with this one. What is this? Honestly, it's good to do a bird's eye view, the 30,000 foot view, and kind of just looking at metrics and noting them every week. You should be spending enough time to gather the right information. So however long it takes you to look at, this is how many followers we gained this week and or lost. This is the metrics on each post. And these are the times of day and the days that we have the highest traffic this week. That's pretty much in the beginning all that you'll need to use to just basically go, okay, we know that on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Monday at 9 a.m., Tuesday, or Wednesday at 3 p.m., and on this day, this is when we're going to post, and this is the kind of content we're going to post. When you're first starting out, you're kind of throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall to see what'll stick. Once you know and are looking at those analytics and can go, okay, the post we did on Monday at 9 a.m. and it was this video or this photo that had this copy performed really well. Take a screenshot of that post, save it for later, and know that, hey, on Mondays at 9, some content like this is going to work. So if you did a video about how to cook something that did really well, you know that another video with how to cook something that in the copy had these hashtags and had, I used 1 or 2 emojis that seemed to work. You'll know that that is the type of framework to use for your content going forward. So however long it takes you to determine that, it shouldn't take too long, honestly. Every morning I spend probably about 15 minutes looking at the metrics for accounts on Facebook and Instagram Insights, so I know what to do for the next 3 days, the next 7 days, however long I'm scheduling out content on that day.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, another question. What is the average cost that I should spend on a post on Facebook?
So an average, that once again, there's no catch-all, and that's why I always tell people when you're doing research about digital marketing things, be very wary of these huge articles that are like the top 10 things every business should be doing. Depending on your size of business, and because our market is so unique here in the Four Corners, especially Durango, we're a tourism-based economy. We've got a lot of different things going on that many other markets do. I've found that there really is no catch-all for many questions that people have. I will tell you this, there's only 17,000 people that live in Durango proper, and I can't remember the numbers of how many people are in the, what I call the micropolitan area, the surrounding area of La Plata County. It doesn't cost that much to reach all those people. It depends on what you're trying to do too. A brand awareness ad, which isn't designed to drive action like clicks or drive action like send us a message. Your goal with a brand awareness ad is to just get it in front of as many eyes as possible. So let's say a new store is opening up, like there's a new furniture store opening up, just a brand awareness style ad that's designed to get in front of the most people, to just show people, hey, I'm here and we're open, would be, you wouldn't have to spend that much money at all. So if you look at your geographic region, when you set your geographic region in a boost, it'll tell you this is how many people that you'll be able to reach per day. Honestly, if you're being able to reach a couple thousand people a day around here, that is gonna get you some good results. It's really important to also be checking those ads. Like I said, Facebook advertising is much more complicated and much more of a deep dive, but if you're doing some basic stuff to just get the word out there, especially now when we're all hurting business-wise, brand awareness to just show people that you're out there, you could spend 20 bucks on a month and probably see some good results. But in the first few days, keep looking at it, see how well it's performing. There might be adjustments you need to make. If it's being seen, but not a lot of people are clicking it, even though the click wasn't the action that you're tracking the ad based on, and that's not your goal is for as many people to see it as possible, you can tell that people aren't responding to it very well if there are 0 clicks on it. If there's 0 activity on it and they're just seeing it, it might as well be as good as a radio ad that didn't really do much. You hear it, you go, and then you just forget it. So if you are seeing a decent amount of activity, whether people are commenting on it or clicking through to see your page, then you'll know it's doing well. And then if you want to boost it a little bit, you can. For things like events that you're boosting in this area, especially if you're just trying to target 5-mile radius from, let's say, the Act Theater, you could do pretty well probably with 20 to 50 bucks. If you want to hit a much bigger region, if you want to go all the way down to Farmington or even hit people in Albuquerque, that's when you're starting to look at the 100 to 500 to even $1,000 a month range. Once again, I can't say this enough. There is no catch-all for businesses. The person that asked that question, if you'd like to go to our website or shoot me an email, sean@animusmarketing.com, and tell me your specific situation, I could probably give you much better advice.
Awesome, thank you. One last question. Should I pay for analytics tools, or do you think the analytics built into Facebook and Instagram are a good start for small businesses?
If you're a small business and it's just you, if there's just one person and it's you as the business owner, or maybe one of your managers, if you have a really small business that is running this, honestly, if you're just running one account, if let's say, let's use Steamworks again as an example. If let's say Steamworks was just starting out, brand new company, they had one Facebook page, one Instagram page, they didn't have 3 restaurants and 6 accounts total. If they had just that amount, it is not, I don't think that it's worth it to invest in that reporting dashboard until you've grown your audience and maybe grown your business to the point where maybe you have multiple locations. So you're kind of running 2 pages from one page or 3 pages from one page. Say if you were Grassburger or Serious Texas Barbecue, who have expanded out into the Fort Collins and now the Albuquerque market for the Grassburger. If you're having multiple locations, you have a lot going on, it is way worth it to invest in marketing analytics dashboards for seeing all of your social activity. But if you have just one account on Facebook and one account on Instagram and you're just starting to build your audience, all you really need is their insights portal and the insights portal on the phone for your Instagram, and you'll be able to see enough valuable content to get started. It's all that other stuff. Unless you're running multiple businesses or multiple accounts for one business, no reason to invest in those expensive reporting dashboards.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. I think that was the last question we had. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to you, Sean, for tuning in a second time, and then also Tyler from Animus Marketing as well. He's been on a couple of webinars with us too. And thank you to all
of them. There with Paul from 360 to do some SEO stuff. So if SEO is something that you're interested in, you can go back on the SWCODA and the SBDC Facebook pages and go watch those webinars too.
Definitely. And then also, Sean and Tyler are, again, fantastic and really know what they're talking about. So if you do need some follow-up assistance, I'm sure they would love to hear from you and any specific questions you may have.
Yes, we are offering, I am offering to give some free advice out to business owners right now, especially since everybody's going through a lot of stuff. So don't hesitate to reach out to us via our website or via my email, Sean, that's SEAN at animusmarketing.com. And also, if you have any more detailed things that you need to do, we're offering a couple special rates for certain things, and also some payment deferment until later this summer to help out people, because we know that the terrible thing right now is that it's never been more important to be marketing yourself and for people to be able to find you online. But at the same time, the resources for marketing spend are not there. So we had to figure out a way to still be able to help people without, we're not gonna be able to help people if we're draining the bank account.
Right. Well, thank you. That's really awesome to offer that to everyone. And a huge thank you again to everyone who's been a part of this series, all of our professionals who have been teaching us these topics have been volunteering their time. So thank you so much, John, again. And we look forward to working with you guys in the future. So tomorrow is our last session. We hope you tune in. It's going to be covering Google Analytics with Paul Eckenrode. He was one of the masterminds behind this webinar series. So very fitting to be ending the series with learning from him. So we hope you tune in tomorrow, 9 a.m., and we'll see you then. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks for having me, Hannah, and thank you all for joining.
Yeah.